doing, everyone, and welcome to another movie review with Maka B. And this time we've just seen Candyman at The View Cinema. You could just about make out The View written behind me. Well, what the hell is there to say about this one? First and foremost, as an initial comment, I'll say some movies probably shouldn't be remade, and this is probably a perfect example of that. The original will always remain to be a classic, and quite frankly, in my opinion, this particular remake was a blemish on its record. A disappointment, if nothing else. I mean, I'm not a massive fan of horror films because, I don't like to be scared too much, but I've got to be honest, I went into this one watching it, expecting to have the shit scared out of me, to be completely honest, and it failed miserably at doing that. It uses a lot of cheap jump scare attempts that I have to say rarely actually hit. Like, there wasn't a single time I was actually scared during this entire film, which is kind of disappointing when you go see a horror film. Like, even though it's not my kind of thing, normally I'm going into it, I want to get the shit scared out of me. The original had some really good moments that allowed for that. This one didn't. Now, the main actor involved, whose name always slips my mind, I know he was Black Manta in Aquaman. He does a pretty decent job with his attempt in this. Like, he starts off cool and collected, and by the end of it, he becomes quite manic, with his transition as he's learning things about the Candyman folklore and whatnot. So him, I will give credit to for being one good element in a bad movie. Like, I liked what he did with his character. But admittedly, the majority of the remaining supporting cast played little to no purpose other than to be bodies to be counted in the film, or to be like background characters that were kind of inconsequential, I think is the word I want to use there. The acting that the supporting characters give, I don't know if they're just really bad at their job, or if it was a somewhat, for lack of a better word, mediocre dialogue and script provided. Because there wasn't a lot in this film that made a whole lot of sense to me, to be honest. I don't really know what else to say. I mean, it's not a film I could recommend, personally. Because, like I say, another thing, the actual Candyman iteration that they have in here. Now, we do get a bit of Tony Todd and a bit of backstory connecting it to the original film. The iteration they use in this one, in close-up shots, I won't reveal anything about the character, because there is some backstory and things that, if you're watching the film, you'll want to see for yourself. But one thing I noticed, and look out for it if you do watch this film, is in close-up shots, when you get a clear focus on Candyman's face, it looks like a cheap rubber mask. It's just, from a bit of a distance, you get a bit of the tension and the kind of sensation you're supposed to get with the character, but up close, it ruins it. Any kind of tension or any kind of fear you may have had for the character initially is kind of ruined by how cheap and ridiculously bad, especially in 2020, 2021, whatever you want to call it, because it was actually made for last year. It's just so bad. Like, how can a film of the Hollywood budget have such bad effects in that manner? It makes no sense to me. I don't know why this light keeps shutting off. Anyway, who cares? But yeah, if I was going to give this film a letter grading, I've got to give it a D. I can't give it any higher than a D plus at best, if that's even a thing. We don't really use letters in the UK that much anymore. It was not one I recommend. If you're going to watch it in a cinema, watch it in one like The View. If you're in England, go to The View for a $5. If in America, I don't know what your cinema brands are. It's been a few years since I've been there. But just go to whichever one's going to cost you the least, so you waste the least amount of money. Some folks are going to love this film, but I do get the feeling a lot of people are going to kind of agree with me, just in the sense that it definitely does not match up to the original. But that's just me. Hey ho. But anyway, folks, let me know down below if you have seen the film, if you intend to see the film, what your feelings were or are. Let me know down below. Otherwise, stay safe, have a good day, and of course, that's not the right ending. I keep doing that. That's what my other channel ones is. Let's try again. Have a good day, night, evening, afternoon, or whatever the hell it is, wherever the hell you are. Movie Madness, Maka out.